had some questions from people in my class about how we do well in the proposal. And what you've got to kind of understand is that the planning grade that you get is made up of your proposal and any planning evidence in your folio. So we ask you to do about 2 pages of planning to begin with, but you might still have to plan interviews. You might still have to plan surveys. You might still have to plan your experiment. So that might add to your planning evidence as well. So when you get feedback on your rubric this term, on your proposal and planning this term, that's not the be all and end all, because your folio is shifting and changing as you research. But to help us to develop a proposal that is really clear and productive, we do have a really broken down rubric for you that goes through the types of behaviours that we typically see. So the first one is a checklist of the sections that you should have in your proposal. So we need your main question, we need some focus areas, we need to know about your refinement process just briefly, we need to know about your justification for the topic, what research processes you're going to undertake, what capability you've chosen, what ethics you're going to adhere to, and how you're going to present your information in your outcome. Each of these sections is then broken down in your rubric into a bunch of other areas. So the first one is that your proposal will define your topic with a central question and focus questions. So a really good question is clearly worded, it will invite argument, and it will make sense. It will have focus questions that will help you to answer the main question. As your question becomes less clear, it will become a lower graded question. Questions don't have to be over the top. One of the best questions I've ever heard was, is Lego really a toy? Like, such a simple question, but it's clearly worded, it invites argument, and it makes sense. The focus questions broke that apart in a much more detailed way so that the student could achieve a really good research project. The next criteria is your justification. So what we ask is that you give us just a brief summary of why you have actually decided to do this research topic. So it should have a clear link to something to do with you or your interests or your future or the society. Like, there should be a really clear purpose for your topic, not just, I just thought it'd be good. Okay, give us some detail. Same with the refinement process. We want to know how you started with a broad topic, then you moved into a refined topic, and then how you have actually grappled with things like, I couldn't deal with all 10 areas of this topic. It was unmanageable. So I actually decided to focus on this one. Or this area has more information in it. This area I have networks in. We want to know that side of things. The next thing we ask you to do is to outline your research processes, and you'll see that a high grade has specific examples with a variety of primary and secondary sources, and you might talk to us about what you're going to do with them. So you might use them to support each other or compare with each other, or you might talk about how some of them are background research sources, and then some of them are in the preparing for the interviews, and then your interviews that you have, and then you might have some cross comparison that you're asked to do as well. Okay, you should be talking about why your sources are useful, and you might give a brief little summary, like, I am going to interview Miss Parasias because she has lots of experience with underwater knitting, and she is someone who has a really strong opinion about why it should be involved in the Olympics. That kind of discussion is what we're after. Then we go to your capability, and again, we're looking for a really clear, specific discussion around capability. What are you going to actually do? So I am working on my personal social capability. I'm doing this because this is a really personal issue for me, and I really want to improve my skills here, here, and here. Socially, this is an issue because, etc. So really, really clear discussion of why it's relevant and how it links to your question. Next little bit is your ethics, and again, has to be really specific. So not just I'm going to not plagiarize, but why is that ethical behavior important for you as a researcher, and how does it link to your topic? And then last of all is, what is your outcome, what's its purpose, and what audience is it for? Good luck.